This tutorial is about sorting and filtering lists in Generator. So let's say we have some random numbers. Let's say we have 20 random numbers. What if we want to sort them in the list? Well, the most basic thing we can do is just apply a sort node. And if we look at the result, the numbers are sorted. We can reverse the sort. This works exactly the same with text. So let's say we have, instead of this, we're gonna have a random number between like 65 and 92 or something, 91. And we're gonna convert this to a character. And now we're gonna join this. And then we're gonna repeat this again to get a bunch of them. All right, so now if we say list, we see some number of random strings, each of which have 20 characters. Let's reduce the number of characters to something like 3 and increase this. So now, if we want to sort this, we can sort it directly by the text as well. So we just say sort, list, and now they're sorted. If we say reverse, they're reversed. Now, what if we want to sort by a parameter? So here's an example. We'll leave our random node, we'll get another random node, randomize the seed, and then we're going to create a point. And it's a random point from, let's say, 0 to 100 and 0 to 100. All right. I'm going to repeat this. Let's say I'll take 20 points. And there we go. We got a bunch of random points. And for visualization, I'm going to plug this into a path. Make it linear and apply a color and a stroke. There we go. So this is the random points and the path they create in the order that they're created. Now, what if we want to, for example, sort this by the y coordinate? So here's how that works. Let's move this over here. Oops. Move it over to the right. And after the repeat, I'm going to insert a sort. There we go. So by default, it does nothing because it doesn't know how to sort points. Only knows how to sort numbers and text automatically. But now I can create a condition. So the way conditions work in Generator is that you know what the list consists of. And so you need to create a node that implies that type that the list consists of. So for example, here we know that the list consists of points. So it's a point list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a point, a sort of free floating point. And then what I can do is I can take either its x or y coordinate and plug that into the condition. So condition will accept only a number value because you basically sort everything by number value. Even text, it's sorted by the character code. So if I now plug the x into the condition, I see that the points have been sorted by the x coordinate. And so the line that runs through them respects that. If I replace this with the y, it does the same thing, but on the other axis. If I unplug, they're again unsorted because it doesn't sort points automatically. Let's take something slightly more complicated. Let's take some text. So I'm going to copy and paste this CSV table in here. It's the standard one I use in all my videos, the one with cars. All right, this has quite a few values, so we can work with it. We'll say CSV. Set the comma to a semicolon to get all the data. All right, and so now what's coming out of here is a list of lists, so a table. I'm going to look at a column. There's no easy way to see a table in Generator. I will work on something like this if there's actual user demand for it. But for now, this is how it is. So I can look at the column, I can say list. It's 408 entries, so it's a bit slow. But I can resize this. In fact, you know what? We don't need to do 408 entries, we can do the same thing with something easier. So I'm going to go in here and say sublist and plug it in through here. And say that it ends at, let's say 20. All right, there we go. We got some cars. So index 0 is the car name. MPG. Oh, so this is the name and this is the type. So actually, well, all right, so this is the acceleration, weight, horsepower. All right, so these are all the columns. So we're looking at a table coming out of this. And let's say we want to sort it. And here we're just checking it out by column. So to sort it, we say sort, Control Alt Enter gives me a new branch. And then I need to come over here. I'll create a list so I can see what I'm doing. Actually, that's not what I need. What I need is a column so I can compare, and then a list. There we go. First of all, I think I'm going to increase this to 2 so I don't get the name and the type because I don't need them. And then I need to create a condition. So what the condition is, so let's think about this. The list contains lists, which means that an item, so the sort of implied item that we sort by, is going to be a list. So I'm going to create an empty list like this. Then what I want to do is I want to sort these, let's say, by horsepower. So let me see if I go over here. I'm going to bring this back so that I can see what's going on. Horsepower. Horsepower is index number 4. So I'll remove them again. I'm actually going to bring this over here so we can compare the results. Right now they're the same because I haven't done anything. But when I'm done sorting, this should be in a different order. So we want to sort by index 4, which means that we take this implied list, we add a select from list, we say 4, and we plug that into the condition. And so here you can see that this is now sorted by the horsepower. And we can check that by, again, bringing back the type and the name. We want to see which one is number 4, horsepower. There you go. So it starts at the smallest and ends up at the largest. And if we bring this back to 0, we end up again with the list of names, but sorted by horsepower. This works exactly the same way with filtering. For filtering, I'm going to take a simpler example. So let's say we have a list of numbers, random numbers between minus 100 and 100. Repeat. List. There we go. So we have 20 of those. And now I would like to get from this list only the positive numbers. So this works very similarly to sort. We say filter. Both nodes are found here, filter and sort. They're for subscribers. And then we say list so we can see the result. And then we need to create the condition. So the condition will be a number, because that's what this is made of, because that's what this list is made of. And I'm going to compare this number to another value. So in this case, I'm going to add a condition node, and I'm going to say greater than or equals to 0. And then when I plug that into the condition, in this filter, I get only the negative or only the positive values. If I now change this to minus or to less than or equal to or less, now I get only negative values. So similarly, if you want to filter the car list by value, instead of sort, you can do filter. Control Alt for a new branch. And then this goes into the column. Now they're the same. And let's say I want to filter it by, the horsepower goes between 130 and like 225. So let's say I want to filter this by the horsepower being above 190. So I only want cars whose horsepower is above 190. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my list. I'll take index 4, and then because I need a number, I got to convert it. So I'm going to say convert text to number. There we go. So this will actually only work if this is already connected to the condition. But that's not the final piece of logic. We also want to compare this. There's a conditional to 190. And we only want cars whose horsepower is greater than or equal to 190. So I'm going to plug this into the condition. And once I've done that, this will now accept any kind of value, even if it's unknown. So there we go. I take value number 4, I convert it to a number, and I set the condition to be greater than or equal to 190. And now when we look at this list over here, it only has the cars with a horsepower above 190. We can check this by setting the index to 4. And we can see that it's all above 190. So that's basically it for sorting and filtering in Generator.